Let me guess, you were trying to find a video to watch during lunch or while you drive or while you do your morning routine, and for some reason the YouTube recommendations weren't hitting today, and just as you were about to put that one video you've already seen a dozen times, you found this one. I know that's what happened because it happens to me almost every morning. I've seen that one Drew Gooden video about cars like 9 times.
And that's how you park a Tesla Cybertruck in your garage.
We all make decisions every day. By some estimates, the average adult makes over 30,000 decisions in a given day. And if you're anything like me, you overthink every last one of them. Constant comparisons, hypothetical scenarios, imaginary conversations and arguments where I win and then everyone claps.
And another thing!
For the life of me, I can never find the balance of what I should be doing in order to make good decisions, thinking too little or thinking too much. For example, if you're anything like me, you've gotten bored already and have already minimized this video and started looking for another one. Hey, you chose me. Now let's stop doing that and let's figure out this overthinking thing together. I find it extremely difficult to decide even on smaller things like what I'm gonna watch. No joke, I have not been able to pick a movie to watch on my own in months. There's just too many options. More choices doesn't always mean more freedom. It means more opportunities to regret. Here's a really dumb and complicated math example. Let's say you have 2 movies to choose from. If you pick one, there's only a 50% chance that you would have preferred the other one better. So it's a coin flip, 50-50, that you pick the best movie that you possibly could have enjoyed. Sure. But let's say you have 5 movies to pick from. That means there's only a 20% chance that you pick the absolute best movie you would have enjoyed. Which means there's an 80% chance you will pick a subpar movie. If there's 10 movies, there's a 90% chance you'll make the wrong choice. If there's 100 movies, there's a 99% chance that you'll make the wrong choice. The limit as X approaches infinity is 100%. So on a streaming service, which for all intents and purposes basically has an infinite number of movies for you to pick from, there is a 100% chance that you will not pick the best movie and therefore should be a little bit disappointed by something else that you could have picked and enjoyed better. The more options you have, the more certain you can be that you picked one that you would not have enjoyed the best. And knowing that makes the movie watching experience of whichever movie you end up picking just a little bit worse, even if the movie itself is perfectly fine. This is part of the reason I think TikTok is so beloved by me and other people. I don't have to think or commit to a video. It's just chosen for me automatically forever. And even if I end up hating a video, what did I lose? 40 seconds? There's another one.
To spell camouflage and not. Okay, it took me a second. Oh! Because it's not there.
You know, you can say what you want about cable, but at least we knew what we were getting into. They planned this schedule 2 weeks out in advance, and if you don't like what they're showing, then boo frickin' who. You wanna watch a new episode? You show up here at the time we tell you, or you will never see it again. Or maybe we'll air it on a Wednesday at 3 a.m. for no reason. I don't know. Depends how I'm feeling. The most choice you had in the matter was figuring out what was worth DVRing. I used to think that lack of choice was a curse, but in many ways, it could be considered a blessing. I wanted to be able to watch anything at any time with nobody telling me what to do, and we got what we asked for, and sometimes it kind of sucks. It's not because there's not good options, it's because my lack of decisiveness gets in the way of me enjoying something, and especially is that annoying when it gets in the way of other tasks I'm doing. Sometimes I'll be listening to music while doing chores and I'll think, man, I really want to listen to my comfort show though. So I'll turn the music off, I'll turn the comfort show on. But then 5 minutes into the episode, I'll start thinking, wait, but I have great taste in music. So I'll turn the show off and I'll start listening to music again. But then I'll be listening to the song and I'll think, well, I should really go back to that episode. I really like the plot twist in that episode. A plot twist that I'm fully familiar with because I've seen the entire series at least 7 times at this point. But I'd like to see it again because I love the twist, but it doesn't really work with the rest of the show long term because the writers don't do it justice. Really, because
it's sad to see how the franchise ended on a sour note because Lamberts was a generational show, and Mighty Med, while it didn't quite meet up to that standard, it still held its own, and the idea of combining these 2 franchises should have been a good move long term. But its execution represented everything that is wrong with children's sitcom television. Characters became caricatures of themselves, and instead of a light hazing siblings dynamic, these people talked to each other like they genuinely hated each other all the time. Why did they pick on Chase so much? Combine that with the annoying side character, sloppy writing, and poor pacing, the show was a slog to get through, even though it was developing an interesting overarching plot. It got canceled after 1 season and left both franchises on an unsatisfying cliffhanger that will never be resolved, thus tarnishing the reputation of 2 generationally significant TV shows. It truly is sad when you think about it. What was my point? Oh yeah, dishes. It's been 5 hours. Tomorrow it is.
That ever happened to any of you guys? The suffering comes in not because we made a decision we couldn't be happy with. It's because we'll always be wondering whether the decision we didn't make could have made us happier. It's a noble pursuit to be the most satisfied that we can possibly be, but it's that very thing that's making you miserable. Just knowing that you're likely never to reach that expectation. You'll always fail at it. Because you will, pretty much always fail at it. Because there's just no way you're gonna pick the best choice every single time. You're going to fail at it. You'll never be happy.
You are capable of making good decisions. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. You're second guessing yourself way too much, and I do it too, but it's stupid and we should stop doing that. One thing I've learned is that my friends aren't typically smarter than me. They're just more confident and louder than I am.
What's the animal in this world that you fear the least? Fish. Animal. Fish.
Don't
start.
Don't.
You're starting and I'm not.
A fish is an animal.
No, it's not.
For instance, if I was upset and somebody asked me what was wrong, it would typically go down something like,
Hey bro, you doing alright? You look kind of upset.
Yeah, I'm on the brink of failing 2 of my classes this semester. My car's been acting up randomly these past few days, and I'm pretty sure the chili I just ate is going to give me some type of food poisoning. But you know, a lot of people have it worse than I do, and it's my fault I'm failing. I should have studied harder, and I shouldn't have waited so long to bring my car into the shop. This is all my fault, so I shouldn't even bring it up.
Oh no, I'm fine. Okay. What about you, dude?
nobody's eating my chili!
Oh man, bro, that sucks.
That sounds like a lot, bro.
Oh, you poor thing.
But I do matter, and some things are important to me, and I should just say that. And if I think a buddy comedy between two cops of different ethnicities
What?
who just can't seem to get along is going to be entertaining, then you know what? I'm gonna watch it. Secondly, as backwards as it seems, you'll be happier when you lower your expectations. If your expectations are at the floor, then anything above that is an upgrade. This sounds really bad in literally any other context, but in this one, it works. Stop considering things in the mindset of, I'm looking for the absolute best one. Just look for an option that you can be happy with. I don't remember where I learned this, but I do like this trick and I want to use it. Instead of when you're in a big group of friends, don't ask, hey, would you guys want to get pizza, for example? Because then everybody has to decide, well, I don't really like pizza. I don't really like Italian. No, I want Mexican. No, I want Chinese. Or you could simply ask, are you opposed to getting pizza? Because now your question has gone from, hey, what is your true desire versus what is something that you wouldn't hate getting? That second question has a lot more options, all of which will likely make people in the group happy enough.
Make no mistake, I have the same struggle of having a certain amount of time for lunch and not wanting to waste it on something I don't enjoy. So I have to pick something, but it can't be a movie because the movie is way too long. I'm not going to finish it. So it has to be a show. And I could watch that one show that my friend keeps telling me to watch and that he says I'm going to love. And maybe he's right, but what if I don't? If I hate it, then I've just wasted all my lunchtime. I mean, maybe I could watch a YouTube video. Nope, Drew Gooden hasn't uploaded. Never mind. I guess I'll just watch my comfort show again.
Elbow swords activate.
Why do I watch this show?
That math explanation I gave earlier, I realize it's ridiculous. The math is true, but it's just so unavoidable that it's not worth worrying about. And also, not every decision is about right choice or wrong choice. Sometimes it's just a choice. And you'll be fine either way.
Bro, he was dead, bro.
There are a number of big life decisions that are made harder simply because of the number of choices that we have to pick from. For example, researchers at Columbia University noted that this was the case when people were choosing retirement plans. The more options people had of plans to choose from, the less likely they were to pick a plan at all. So reading a direct quote from procrastination.com, it says every additional 10 options lowered the number of people participating by about 2%. When there were 15 options, only 67.7% chose one. And when there were 35 options, only about 63% of people chose a saving plan. Analysis paralysis is when you have so many options or so many factors to weigh with each option that you become so overwhelmed that you avoid making a decision in the first place.
I still remember the first time I walked into a Teavana looking to buy some tea. Teavana was paradise for a tea lover. There were these rows upon rows of beautiful canisters. Each one had a fantastic name like Lavender Dreams or Peach Tranquility. I spent what seemed like hours in there. I was so overwhelmed that I left without buying anything. You see, our instinct when confronted with difficult choices is often not to choose anything at all. And while foregoing some tea may not seem like that big of a deal, it can be really costly when it leads us to put off or avoid more important decisions for which choosing something is better than nothing.
And the ill effects of doing this don't stop at simply not being able to make the decision. It can also have health effects. I read that being stuck in analysis paralysis can have physical health effects such as, let me get this straight, rapid heart rate, loss of sleep, fatigue, and shallow breath, and more and more. In great measure, I believe that since considering everything we talked about with analysis paralysis and how you're very obsessed with picking picking the best option, it's very heavily influenced by FOMO. The fear of missing out is a concept that can be found even in ancient writings, but the actual term FOMO wasn't coined until the early 2000s, and we all know generally what it looks like. It's being worried that everyone else is experiencing something important or fantastic and you're not a part of it. I used to think that this term could only be applied to a specific event or outing that you find out about with some friends, and then that's the one thing you have FOMO over, but it actually can go a lot deeper than that. You fear missing out on the types of jobs and adventures and opportunities and relationships that your friends seem to enjoy. It's this type of comparison, in my experience, that makes me second guess everything I do and evaluate my opinion as being less than other people's opinions. Because it's like, wow, look at the place you just went, and oh my gosh, look at the job they just got, look at the car there, oh my gosh, they're getting married. It just seems that everyone else is collectively better at making decisions than I am all the time. I can't trust myself to know things. I'm so stupid. Why can't I do the same thing they're doing? The weird thing about overthinking is it doesn't accomplish what you think it would. The idea is sound. When I think things through, I make good decisions. So if I think even more, I'll make even better decisions. But at a certain point, you're not thinking about how to solve the problem. You're just thinking about the problem itself and feeling bad about it. If you've ever dwelled on a problem and found a solution and are still thinking about the problem, then that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because you've already solved it. There's no logical reason for you to still keep thinking about the problem. Thinking about it only makes you feel bad, and it distracts you from the work that's right in front of you, and it takes up your mental energy. This is a very useless activity. It's not doing anything for you. Why are we still thinking about the problem? It's not to find a solution. It's to punish yourself with more thoughts.
I'll start this section with what I'm pretty sure the solution is not. I'm going to be very careful with how I phrase this, but I am not especially fond of motivational content geared toward a specific gender. Now, originally, this point was only meant to be geared toward women's content. Now, let me finish. Because I was watching this video that was on the subject of motivation and overthinking, and it was made by a woman for women, and I love the spirit. I do. But it was 15 to 20 minutes of just lying to yourself, and I don't think that's helpful. A lot of it is just like, you have to believe that the world works in your favor, and you're the type of person where things just happen because they're supposed to. You're a queen, and the world and all the people in it will bend to your will. The world is your oyster, the natural elements are yours to be wielded. I get the sentiments behind it, but first of all, why are you yelling at me? But secondly, we're adults. That's not true. I'm not in love with the idea of deluding yourself in order to feel better. That's silly. Like, to just say such grandiose statements so much until you force yourself to believe it, that doesn't seem healthy. Now, you may be thinking, what do you care? You're a man. That wasn't meant for you. And you know what? You're right. Sometimes I'll be watching videos like this and I'll be really into it, and then the creator will say something to the effect of, you got this, girly. And then I'll remember, oh yeah, I'm not the target demographic for this. But what I just said also applies to men's motivation as well. I've talked about this more in depth in a separate video that's specifically about motivational content, and my gist is that I don't like this type of motivation because it relies on less factual things and more relies on stereotypical traits of men and women. You are a man, which means you are strong and you will succeed at cars and business and stock market. You are a woman, which means you will be catered to at every turn and everything will work out for you if you think about it hard enough. So just go out and think happy thoughts and be an independent person while also simultaneously expecting that the whole world is going to work in your favor. Go do it. I think both of those are stupid and not helpful at all. Can we just be serious? That's all I'm asking. We're gonna try things and sometimes they're gonna fail. Sometimes we'll make bad decisions and it'll suck and we'll just have to deal with it. And that's fine. We don't have to lie to ourselves or be mad at the world or try to find meaning where meaning is nowhere to be found. There has to be a way to move past these things without doing something that's just not healthy or realistic or normal. There are a few strategies that can be helpful, and they do not rely on stereotypes. They rely on the idea that overthinking, it's not a random thing you do every now and then. It's a pattern behavior and habit you have taught yourself to do for a very long time. It's a way of life that you do as second nature, and you are going to have to fix it intentionally and progressively. It's not going to happen in one day. It's not a mantra that you repeat and it magically makes it go away. It is a conscious effort that is going to take time before you see the results of it. For example, I read in the Harvard Business Review that practicing morning pages could be helpful for this, and I could see that. Morning pages is a writing exercise where you wake up and the first thing you do do is write 3 pages of your thoughts, and that's all the rules. You can write about anything you want in any manner. Grammar doesn't really matter. The content doesn't matter. You could write the same sentence over and over for 3 pages. You just gotta write 3 pages. And I say I could see how this would be helpful because I do a little bit of journaling, and I can see how different a thought is in your head versus explained and written out on a page. So if you're overthinking about a specific problem or event, writing it down for 3 pages may make it clear that it's actually an underlying problem that's stressing you out, or it at least may make the problem itself a little less daunting, or if nothing else comes out of it, at least you can start telling people that you woke up at 6:30 this morning and did journaling. That alone might make you feel better. God. I thought I could do it. I could do it. Hold on. Yes! Put that in the edits! I get not wanting to do it though. Personally, I live my life on a we'll deal with it once we get there mindset, and it's a terrible way to live because you want to believe you can just wing it and get away with it. And also, there are some things in life that just don't seem like things you should have to plan for. You'll just do it. Of course, I think I can stop overthinking anytime I want. This is my brain. I can stop right now. I don't have to plan that out, but I think I do because this is a habit that I've done my entire life. I can't just change that in one day. That's not gonna happen, especially when it's been the same thought over and over again. You have to train your brain to get out of it just as hard or as long as you trained your brain to get into it. I saw this video one time where it was some person was talking about how they couldn't get some crush out of their head. And then someone responded, yeah, of course it's hard for you to stop thinking about a person you fantasize about every night before bed for a year. That sentence hurts my feelings. Also, I'm gonna take back a little bit something I said earlier. Oh, you can't just lie to yourself to stop doing that. That's silly. Overthinking is silly. We explained that it's an irrational thing to do. You're just doing another irrational thing to get out of it. So yeah, maybe I do feel stupid when I have to force myself to look in the mirror and say, hey, I don't hate you. But you know what else is silly? Sitting 30 minutes thinking about some lady I saw in the self-checkout line who looked at me kind of weirdly because I scanned the bananas like 3 times because it's not my fault. There's a little banana sticker and I can't tell, are you supposed to scan the sticker or are you supposed to go in and like search up the fresh produce? And also, how am I supposed to remember if this was bananas or organic bananas? I meant to pick up the regular bananas, but I don't want to pay the extra 10 cents. What am I saying? Both overthinking and forcing yourself not to overthink are 2 things that are irrational and feel irrational. So I may as well just pick one and go with that. Editor, you can clean up that mess, right? I believe in you, buddy. Being bad at decisions is a really annoying way of life, and it's hard to train ourselves to stop overthinking. But remaining an unproductive overthinker is a decision in and of itself, and it's a really bad one at that. Was that a good ending? I wrote that at 1 a.m. like 3 nights ago, and I could choose not to. I wrote the words I'm saying right now, actually. I could choose not to say it, but I don't know if what I ended with was smooth enough as well. So I'm just gonna stop right here. I want you to remember not this. Remember what I said 40 seconds earlier. That felt like felt cleaner, but it just didn't feel finished. But I'm gonna stop now. I'm not good at writing endings to these.